So we've talked a couple of different things as far as philosophy and maintaining top position. And so we've talked about we don't order our submissions highest percentage to lowest percentage. We order them lowest risk to highest risk. And I'm showing you these moves that we went over not because they are high percentage, but because they are low risk. We start chaining them together, and the sum is better than each individual technique, right? So we've talked about that in the past. And then last night I gave a great traffic analogy, right? So I'm going to use Tom because he was here last night. Hey Tom, when you cross the street, what do?
Look both ways.
You look both ways. Why do we look both ways? Because if there's cars coming, right? We value our life. You don't want to get run over, right? What if it's late at night, Charlie, and you're going to cross the street? What do? You look both ways. What if you're on a dead-end road, right? It becomes habit. Why? Because we value our life, right? Particularly my legs. You know, I like my legs and my head a lot. And so we look both ways. Jiu-jitsu is not intuitive. It's not at all. That's why you come to class and you learn things. Well, these techniques that I'm showing you, they're not secrets. They're all over YouTube. If you want to go watch these techniques, you can learn techniques online. The techniques specifically that we worked today are on my YouTube channel. That's not the secret. Okay? Why do we go to a school instead of learning on YouTube? Well, because I'm going to value those things for you. When I put them in a curriculum, we're in an order. I show you how they fit together. I give you percentages on them. But we're building holistic attacks. Derek, let's look at these 4 techniques for a second. So the first technique earlier in the week, he was up on his side. We did our step over choke, right? That's probably the most high percentage of the moves. But it's good against good people. He has to be up on his side so I can control that space behind the head. Well, Derek gets smart to my game. He doesn't want to get step over choked anymore. So when he starts to come up and I get control of this and he takes his back flat, I come underneath and I start to control, right? Then we have our step over armbar. Oh, that didn't work. He starts to move away. I put my hand on the floor. I get my step over armbar here. Oh, that didn't work. He rips his elbow to the floor. I step over the body and we start moving into arm bars here. Now, hey, yeah. Those are all low percentage moves. Okay? But I'm continually attacking, and he has to watch out for those moves. You get caught once or twice with each of those, you know that that is dangerous, and you don't do what led to that. I don't let them get underneath my armpit. I keep my elbow on the floor. I can't extend this arm. So now you build up all of these things that you can't do, and what you end up doing is standing on the sidewalk, waiting for a time to cross the street. And everyone that has waited in traffic, you start getting irritable, right? The first 30 seconds, you're like, I value my legs and my head. I'm not going to run across the street. But if you have somewhere to be, maybe the time is running out, right? Maybe you're down on points. Maybe you just like to finish people, okay? And you're sitting there on bottom, getting crushed, waiting on the sidewalk. At some point, you get desperate and you try a game of Frogger, right? Right? You know the cars are coming. You look both ways. You know that the near side armbar is there. You know that the step over choke is there. You know that the baseball slide armbar is there. You know that the far side armbar is there. And so you wait. Then when you get disgruntled, you get impatient, you make a desperate move, and what happens? You get run over, right? You try to play a game of Frogger, you knew it was there, and you got ran over anyway. So when we learn these moves, it's not really to elicit, or it's not really to get the submission. It's to elicit a response from someone. There is 10 times more power in them responding to a technique or a threat that you're not even doing, right? I'm not going to step over your head to armbar you because you're not going to leave that arm dangling up in the air. What you're going to do is rip your back to the floor. And guess what? You're going to stand on the sidewalk a little bit longer while I keep throwing traffic at you. Does that make sense? Each individual technique is really great. Adding them together is really great. The response from a person that knows what's going on is 10 times more powerful than each one of those techniques. You can lay on your back the whole match, all I care. And I'll do these 1% submissions over and over and on you, and I'll see you go like this. Right? And then you're going to do this. And I'm patient. I stay on top until you get impatient and you make a mistake. If you're on top, don't get impatient. You're in a good place, right? You're in the car. You want to run people over. Does that make sense? Look both ways. The whole meaning behind this is that them defending and having a strategy and knowing what you're doing and the responses that they have based on knowing what techniques you're going to do are more powerful than those techniques. Does that make sense? Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Good. You can cut that off.